nghiệp lặng than tên, gửi lòng theo tiếng chuông.
If you are a young person, less than 20, you are advised to practice in order to heal the 5-year-old child in you. Otherwise, when you get married, you'll transmit the wounded child to your children. Before getting married, practice in order to heal the little child in you. Otherwise, you will transmit the wounded child in you to your son and to your daughter. That would not be very nice. And if you have already transmitted your wounded child to him or to her, it's not too late. You have to practice now to heal the little child in you and help your son, your daughter to heal the wounded little child that you have transmitted to him or to her. And you both as father and son, father and daughter, you can practice together and heal the wounded child in you and in him or in her. If you as a mother, you can practice, if you can practice together with your daughter or your son, you can heal both the wounded child in you and in your mother. This is a very important practice. You have to realize that this is a very important, urgent practice. And if you can succeed in doing that, communication between you and him and her will be restored. And mutual understanding will be possible. And you improve the quality of happiness in your life and in his or her life. It's very important. You are in her. You are in him. You have transmitted yourself entirely to him or to her. Your son is a continuation of you. Your daughter is a continuation of you. Your son is you. Your daughter is you. And they will carry you far into the future. And if you have the time to endow her, then about him with compassion and understanding, she will profit from that, and she will make the future better for herself and for her children and the future generations. In fact, we are continued by our children, and we have to offer them the best in terms of thinking, in terms of speech, and in terms of physical action. A painter or a musician, a composer, when they create a piece of art, they always sign the name. You also. You produce in your daily life the thinking, the speech, and the action. If your thinking is the right thinking, that is a good work of art. It bears always your name. Right thinking means the thinking that goes along with understanding and compassion. And if you can produce a thought that is in the direction of right thinking, that is your product, that is your continuation. You cannot refuse to sign your name because that's your product. And looking into your thinking, whether it is right or wrong, well, we see you. Your signature is in it. That is why in our daily life we have to be careful to produce thoughts that are on the line of right thinking, the kind of thinking that goes along with insight, understanding, and compassion. And you have an opportunity to produce right thinking in every moment of your life that will bear your signatures, that your future. You transmit them to your children and to the world. Everything you say is also a product of your person. Whether your speech is a right speech or wrong speech, it bears your signature. What you say may cause a lot of anger, a lot of despair, a lot of pessimism, and that bear your signature. It's not good to produce a work like that. That is why with mindfulness, you may like to produce only the kind of speech that is called right speech, the kind of speech that goes along with understanding, compassion, joy, and forgiveness. And with the practice of mindfulness, at every moment you can produce right speech, loving speech that will bear your signature. That is what you handed down to your children and to the world. That is your continuation. And then the third kind of product is physical action. Whatever you do that can protect life, that can help people to suffer less, that express your comprehension, your compassion, will bear your own signature. That is a good continuation of you, of yours, transmitted to your children and to the world. And let us be mindful not to produce any act that has the nature of violence, hatred, fear, and discrimination, because this act will bear also your signature. You cannot deny that that's not your product, because it has really come from you. Your child, whether that is a boy or a girl, it is a young piece of art, your product. You produce yourself, you produce your own future. And that is why mindfulness helps us to know whether we are producing the right thing for the future. And that what we produce is us, is our continuation.